Have you heard of the Scillitan Martyrs, the first witnesses of faith in Roman Africa? Imagine being asked to choose between life and death with a single word. One simple act of worship to the Roman gods would save you. Refuse and face execution. This wasn't a hypothetical dilemma. It was the real choice facing 12 ordinary Christians on a scorching July day in 180 AD. Their names were Sparatus, Donata, Felix, Asilinus, Sithinus, Generosa, Januaria, Lactantius, Narzales, Secunda, Vestina, and Veturius. You've probably never heard of them, but their story changed the course of Christianity forever. The year is 180 AD in ancient Carthage, a bustling commercial hub rebuilt by Roman colonists after its destruction. The scorching North African sun beats down on dusty streets filled with merchants, soldiers, and slaves. In this melting pot of cultures and religions, a new faith is quietly taking root. Christianity has arrived in Roman Africa. While Emperor Marcus Aurelius's policies had fostered suspicion against Christians, the actual trial and execution of the Scillitan Martyrs occurred at the very beginning of his successor Commodus's reign in 180 AD. The empire demands religious conformity. Christians offer exclusive devotion to their God alone. A collision course is set. From the small town of Cilium in Numidia, 12 Christians are brought before Proconsul P. Vigilius Saturninus in Carthage. 7 men, 5 women. They represent a cross-section of early Christian society, united not by wealth or status, but by their shared faith in Jesus Christ. The trial begins. The Roman proconsul offers them a simple choice: sacrifice to the emperor and the Roman gods, or die. It's a test of loyalty to the empire, a seemingly small act that would secure their freedom. But these 12 see it differently. Saint Sparatus, whose name means hoped for, steps forward as their spokesman. When pressed to renounce their faith, his response is calm, but uncompromising. Then comes the moment that echoes through history. Saint Donata, one of the women, boldly declares to the Roman consul, "We render honor to Caesar as Caesar, but worship and prayers to God alone." This single statement perfectly captured the Christian position. Loyal citizenship? Yes. Exclusive worship of the one true God? Absolutely. It was a distinction the Roman authorities could not accept. Here's what happened next. And this is where the story takes an unexpected turn that stunned even the hardened Roman officials. When the inevitable death sentence was pronounced, the 12 Christians didn't plead for mercy. They didn't break down in fear. They didn't try to negotiate. They thanked God. Think about that. Facing execution, these ordinary people, shopkeepers, farmers, mothers, fathers, responded with gratitude. The Roman captors must have been bewildered. What kind of faith produces such a response? What could be worth more than life itself? The execution was carried out with brutal Roman efficiency. But something extraordinary happened. What was intended as a deterrent became a powerful witness. Their blood, spilled on African soil, became the seed of a church that would flourish throughout North Africa for centuries. This wasn't just another Roman execution. The trial records, preserved in what we call the Acta Martyrum Scillitanorum, are widely considered a relatively faithful record of official court proceedings. They represent the earliest dated document from the Latin Church and the first specimen of Christian Latin literature. They also contain the first reference to early Christian writings in Latin, specifically mentioning books and letters of Paul, a just man. While persecutions of Christians before the mid-3rd century were generally local and sporadic rather than widespread and systematic across the entire Roman Empire, this document stands as a powerful testament to the real and tragic instances of persecution faced by individuals. These 12 people made history by choosing eternity over time, truth over comfort, Christ over Caesar. The witness of the Scillitan Martyrs helped establish North Africa as a major centre of Christian thought. Their example paved the way for later giants like Saints Augustine and Cyprian. The church in Carthage, watered by the blood of these first martyrs, became one of the most important centres of Christian learning in the ancient world. But their influence extended far beyond Africa. The principle they articulated, render to Caesar what is Caesar's, but to God what is God's, became a cornerstone of Christian political theology. This principle would guide Christians through centuries of persecution, from the Roman Empire through modern totalitarian regimes. Today, as Christians in many parts of the world face persecution for their faith, the example of the Scillitan Martyrs remains profoundly relevant. Their courage challenges contemporary believers to examine their own commitment. The Scillitan Martyrs stand at the threshold of African Christianity, their witness marking the beginning of a rich tradition of faith that influenced the entire Christian world. Their names represent more than historical curiosities. They embody the courage, faith, and unwavering commitment to Christ that defined the early church. On July 17, 180 AD, 12 Christians stepped into eternity and into history. They remind us that the triumph of the gospel often comes through sacrifice, that the church grows strongest when it costs the most to be a Christian, and that the witness of faithful lives and deaths continues to inspire believers across the centuries. Their legacy challenges us to examine our own faithfulness. Are we prepared to honour Caesar as Caesar while reserving our worship for God alone? Are we willing to face opposition for our beliefs? Do we possess the courage to choose Christ over compromise, regardless of the cost? These questions, first posed by the witness of 12 North African Christians nearly 2 millennia ago, remain as relevant today as they were on that fateful July day in 180 AD. Each July 17th, the Church remembers the Scillitan Martyrs and honours their courage. But remembrance without action is empty. Their story calls us to more than admiration. It calls us to imitation. The story of the Scillitan Martyrs didn't end in 180 AD. It continues today. More than 2,000 years later, Christians around the world are not just facing persecution. They are being killed for their faith, just as those 12 were in ancient Carthage. Globally, in the Open Doors World Watch List, 2024 reported 4,998 Christians were killed for faith-related reasons. Christians in Africa face persecution driven from their homes by violence and extremism. The same choice that confronted Spiratus, Donata, and their companions, worship Caesar or die, still confronts believers today across the African continent. Extremist groups and hostile governments continue to demand the same compromise: renounce Christ or face the consequences. The same courage displayed by the Scillitan Martyrs is still needed. The same faith that enabled them to thank God in the face of death still sustains believers under persecution today. From Nigeria to the Democratic Republic of Congo, from Somalia to Sudan, modern Christians are making the same choice those 12 made nearly 2 millennia ago. The blood of martyrs continues to be the seed of the Church. The witness continues. The choice remains. What will you choose? Leave your comments below, and God bless you all.